it wouldn't be a Jim Cornette podcast without his phone ringing in the background.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah.
With that in mind, I have 3 phone-related questions.
Did you just have that all ready to go?
Yeah, I have a couple phone questions ready to go for whatever it rings. Who were the last 5 people to call Jim's phone? Does he really get as many calls on the landline as the podcast suggests? Or do they just keep calling when he's recording the show? And does Jim have a mobile phone? And if so, what sort?
Well, let's go backwards. I do have a cell phone. I showed it at the Bruce Pritchard show in Detroit. That's among the other things that I showed at the Bruce Pritchard show in Detroit. It's a flip phone. It's the simplest phone that they had. I asked for a phone that made phone calls and had voicemail because that's what a phone is for, right? And they said, well, we've got this, and it takes pictures, and you can do the texting thing on it, and it's something other, which I've never used because I don't know how, and I'm not going to learn because I don't need to do that. But it's the simplest phone that I could get, and I keep it in my vehicle. And when I leave the house, I turn it on. And unless Stacy's with me, because she's got the, super duper phone that I would take a hammer to within 2 hours of owning it. So if I'm not with Stace and I'm alone and I'm away from home, I turn that phone on because that way, if I'm late, I can call somebody and say, hey, I'm running late. Or if I'm lost, I can say, hey, I'm lost. Can you help me with directions? Or if I'm out of town, she can call me. There's a handful of people that have that number because I don't want them to get in the habit of using that number to call me, because if I don't leave town for a month, sometimes it doesn't get turned on for a month because it's a fucking cell phone that's to be used when you're away from home for urgent matters. I do not get a lot of phone calls at home. But invariably, because we generally record during the day, most people that call me during the day. And actually, that was, I'll be honest, that was Stacy called me from downstairs, so she didn't have to walk up 2 flights of stairs to tell me something. But, we're recording. And in my phone situation in the castle is that I have the phone here in the office, and I have my answering machine. And if I'm in the office, I can hear the phone ring. And then I can look at the caller ID and I can decide whether I want to answer it. If I don't, then it goes to the answering machine and they leave me a message. If I am not in this room, then I have no idea that anybody has ever fucking called me because I don't want to be disturbed in the rest of the house. And I would say that the percentage of people that call me, it's probably 50% people that know me or want me to do something, and 50% telemarketers and garbage phone calls. For example, there was Julie from the Heart Foundation, not the Brett and Jim Neidhart Foundation, but the Heart Foundation, the Heart people. They called me the other day, and I was having a bad day, and I was grumpy, and I was waiting on a phone call, and I thought that might be it, so I answered it. And she said, hello, this is Julie from the Heart Foundation. I said, Julie, I'm having a bad day, and I don't have a heart. Good day. Boom, and hung up on her.
Wow.
So that's the phone situation. What were there any other parts of that question?
Well, you answered kind of. Who were the last 5 people to call your phone? But you said
Stacy was one. Bobby Fulton was the next one to that. Then there was, I can't mention this guy's name because he might not want people to know that we have contact. Hold on here. I'll tell you, there's a goddamn button you can press, and it says who's called you here. Let's see, menu. So I don't know how to really work this because I don't really care. But, yeah, that was the Bobby Fulton, Stacy again.
And then a mystery man who you do not want us to know you communicate with.
Yeah, well, and toll-free call, a guy that nobody would know who the fuck he was, and my CPA.
Well, there you go.
So there you go.
He may not want people to know that he knows you either.
Oh, I've given him a lot of business.
Oh, well, there you go. I take that back.